Maybe I'll do... I don't want to... I don't want to do NaNoWriMo, which is this. Because of all the controversy that came up last year. In the forums and whatever. But it's short for National Novel Writing Month, where you write an entire novel in 1 month. I've participated multiple times. I have written an entire book. And finished, yep. I've written an entire book in 1 month before, and then I would spend the rest of the year, like, polishing and editing it. You're crazy, thank you. I love writing. Writing is, like, my favorite thing of all time to do. What's the controversy? I need to know now. So, allegedly, how NaNoWriMo works is it's a website that, has a bunch of, like, forums in it, almost like a blog. And allegedly, one of the key organizers of NaNoWriMo was using the forums to... I believe it was, like... It was something to do with minors. And I'll leave it at that, because YouTube will be unhappy if I say anything else. Yeah. I need to know now. But you never do it no more? No, I haven't done it. I didn't do it last year because of the controversy, and I didn't do it the year before, I think, because I was just burnt out. How? Edit it? You can definitely Google it, I think. It's still... Wait, actually, I'll do that real quick. Yeah, so the top result when you look up NaNoWriMo controversy is NaNoWriMo and its staff have recently come under fire for their numerous unethical and predatory practices. And essentially how it worked was a forum moderator was being a PDF file. Or that was the accusation, okay, allegedly. And a lot of people believed that the staff, rather than exposing this forum moderator, the staff instead tried to cover it up, allegedly. And, so, that's why I didn't do NaNoWriMo last year, because they didn't handle that whole situation very well. And, yeah. So if you guys want to learn more, I highly recommend doing some, like, research yourself. This is just Google results. There is a link here that I will post. What shitty people? Yes, I agree. Yeah, so if anyone's watching this and they want to learn more, there's the article over there from The Guardian that you can read more into. But that's why I didn't do NaNoWriMo last year. And it seems as though the situation has only gotten worse since I last checked in on it. So, yeah. Didn't they fire the person? Well, it's a not-for-profit, so far as I understand, no one's technically hired. But from what I heard, they didn't really do a good job of... You know what? We can just read the article. Why not? We're already curving off the away from the main topic. So, give me 1 second and I'll pull it up and we can go over it. Because this is something that I did once upon a time. I participated in NaNoWriMo, so I feel like it's, relevant for me to talk about. I'm just going to mute the game audio real quick for a sec while we talk about this. And then switch to display capture. Alright. It's fine. Episode 1 of the podcast with Aiden and Eden. Okay, so this is from The Guardian. And we're just gonna go over the article, basically. And I guess I'm gonna grab you guys. And, yeah, bring you back over here. Okay. So, this is why I don't participate in NaNoWriMo anymore, even though I have been since, like, 2018 or 2019. I think just about, yeah, all 3 of my books that I wrote and have self-published, I participated in NaNoWriMo to write them, and there was another one I did in 2018, I believe. Anyways, point is, I've participated in NaNoWriMo multiple times, and for me this is extremely disappointing, because it's such a cool community event where writers get together and they support each other and they write a novel in 1 month, you know? Because sometimes you just sit and you go like, man, I'm in a real slump, I haven't made any progress on this. And essentially writers will come together and be like, you know what? 1 month. Let's dedicate just 1 month. Write. I think that the goal was about 1,600 words per day. And let's all support each other and get our novels written. Really cool concept. However, recently, not great stuff has come out. I believe the controversy started last year, which is why I didn't participate last year. And so there's 3 books that I published that I participated in NaNoWriMo. There's another one that I posted online somewhere and I've never finished, and I have to get back to that eventually. I have one friend who's like, hey, you never finished this story. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. And then there's another book that I'm currently working on where the first half of it, because it's going to be a long book, the first half of it I did NaNoWriMo a couple years ago. So yeah, anyways, I have participated in this multiple times. I have merch from it too, because it was such a good idea. It was a not-for-profit website. And yeah, it just seemed like a really cool concept to get everybody. She was on it early, context important. Yeah, it seemed like a really cool concept because writers would come together and support each other. And anyway, so there was indeed a scandal that I believe started around, or came into light around November last year, which, by the way, November is when NaNoWriMo happens. It's every November. For 30 days, you write for 30 days in a row, and by the end, you've written 50,000 words. Some people write more, some people write less. But the goal is to write a whole novel in 1 month. Yeah, so the US-based nonprofit organization challenged people to write a novel in a month. And apparently they've announced that it's closing down for 20 years. I didn't know this. I kind of just wiped it from my brain after hearing about this shit and moved on from it. It's giving Swoop. I love it. I love Swoop. Shout out to Swoop. But yeah, so NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month. Happens every November. You write 50,000 words. Some people write more, some people write less. Did not know that it began informally in 1999. That's kind of cool. Before becoming a nonprofit in 2006. I first heard about it and joined it, I think, really in 2018. If anyone ever sees this, pretty much. I might clip it and put it as like a context kind of thing, because I have talked about NaNoWriMo before on my channel, and I just want everyone to be clear that I am not participating in this anymore. In November 2023, several community members complained to the nonprofit's board. They believed the staff had mishandled accusations made in May 2023 that a NaNoWriMo forum moderator was grooming children on a different website. Okay, so it did happen on a different website. It was not within the NaNoWriMo forums. But a forum moderator. And to be clear, does this website still exist? They said that they're closing down, but I wanted to see if it's still up. No, actually. It is gone. You can see, like, the NaNoWriMo website does not come up in any search results, so the website's just gone. If you wanted to say you don't support it, you should post that as a vid, not a live section, my opinion. I mean, I'll post this clip. I do understand the context of having, like, a scripted kind of video, but, I'm also, like, a live content creator, if that makes sense. So, I feel like it makes sense if I'm like, hi, I'm live, or I'm live at the time of recording this, and here's what we're going over right now. Yeah, I guess, no worries. I know where you're coming from. I appreciate it. Hello, clip. But yeah, so as you can see, I type in NaNoWriMo, and the website does not come up at all. So I guess it is totally gone. This is their logo. The website used to come up at the top when it was there, and how did I describe it? It was but it was a forum, I guess, basically. You could make a post and other people could reply to it. I never did. I just wasn't interested in that part of the website. I used the section where you would have this, like, book tracker, and you could go in and you could update your word count, and it would tell you, like, you could either set your challenge to NaNoWriMo, and it would tell you, you know, you have 1 month to write this, or you could make your own custom challenges, which I often did. I would be like, hey, I need to edit this book. It's probably going to be about 60,000 words when I'm done. So if I started in June, let's say, and I wanted to end at the end of September, how many words would I have to edit per day? And it would tell me, and I could track it, and it was a lot of fun. That's primarily what I use the website for. I was subscribed at one point to, they had local, how do I describe it? You had like an inbox within the website, and it would, you could like subscribe to different areas. So for me, the city that I used to live in had its own section on NaNoWriMo. So I was subscribed to that, and then there would be like in-person meetups where everyone would sit and like write together. It was kind of cool. I never did that because I was antisocial and I loved social anxiety. So I never went, but I like to be subscribed anyway and just kind of use it as like a, hey, these are people in my city who are all writing a novel, let's cheer each other on kind of thing. It's giving Adam McIntyre giving context in a video call with Swoop, love. But yeah, so that was kind of what I did. And then because I started participating in 2018 and 2019, obviously 2020 comes along, there's a pandemic, you can't meet people in person anyway, so we ended up having a Discord server where we would like cheer each other on, and I only joined my local city one, and as far as I'm aware, my little local city one, none of the moderators in that had anything to do with this, so they're not like official staff or anything. They're just volunteers. Whereas it's the staff of like the overall website that has been accused of covering this up. So, free labor. Essentially, yeah. That's what volunteering is. But yeah. So that's as much to my knowledge as I can. That's the context there. So, oh my gosh, sorry for the, I wish they had a dark mode, that'd be nice. The context. So, so they complained to the nonprofit's board. So the staff who works on the board. And, I know, I'm so sorry for the flash. They say the moderator was removed. It was for unrelated code of conduct violations and occurred many weeks after the initial complaints. So that's the key takeaway here, is people were complaining that they believed that the staff mishandled the situation. They didn't act fast enough on these accusations, that kind of stuff. They didn't take it seriously enough. The organization was widely criticized last year over a statement on the use of artificial intelligence in creative writing. That was the other half of the coin. So on one hand, you have these accusations, and then on the other hand, I believe they were stating it did not support or explicitly condemn any approach to writing, including the use of AI. And it claimed that like condemnation of artificial intelligence has a classist and ableist undertones, which I can't totally comment on, but from what I've seen of people who are disabled, a lot of them are also anti-AI and don't believe that like a disability prevents you from writing to the point where you should, use AI, because AI, at the end of the day, steals from other writers, right? Whatever it's trained on, it's trained on other writers' works. So that's as much as I can go into detail about that. I myself am not disabled. I'm not going to, therefore, speak on behalf of the disabled community, but that is what, from what I understand, and for what I've seen, there you go. It's absolutely shouldn't even excuse. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm just backtracking so I can read your other comments. I don't know how to write allegedly. I did it. You did. That's shit, it's shit. Like, shouldn't even excuse. I'm not speaking for anyone but my own opinion for the clip, I guess. Yeah, no, exactly. So, from what I've seen, a lot of people who are disabled have said that's still not an excuse to use AI to write your novel. There are a lot of disabled writers, and writing is absolutely a skill. It takes practice, but it is a skill that you can learn. You do not need to rely on a computer to do so. That's my opinion. Anyway. So, not all writers have the financial ability to hire humans to help at certain phases of their writing, and that not all brains have the same abilities. There's a wealth of reasons why individuals can't see the issues in their writing without help. Okay, so this I can speak on a little bit, because I am someone who is within the bracket that cannot afford an editor. Therefore, I have used things like, I've relied on Microsoft Word, I've relied on Grammarly, stuff like that to help me edit my writing. These are tools. They do not do the writing for you. So again, it's a completely different conversation having AI or program help you edit your writing versus doing all the writing for you. I feel like right now, 2025, I hear about preds everywhere. It's crazy. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Because on one hand, hearing about it everywhere is really disappointing because it's everywhere. On the other hand, it's nice that a lot of people are trying to expose these people and hold them accountable. But then on the other hand, it seems like there's no accountability being held. So just, it's unfortunate. So fantasy author C.L. Polk said, at the time, that Nano is basically asserting that disabled people don't have what it takes to create art when they trot out the lie that scorning AI is ableist. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I agree with that, but again, I can't talk for people who are disabled. Every bad news, in my opinion, is about Preds. Yeah, there's been a lot. There's definitely been a lot, and it's unfortunate. Being Canadian, living up above what I'm just gonna call a dumpster fire and not get too deep into that. I have to agree. In a rare moment of serious, since we're on like a serious discussion here, yeah, it's a little scary having our country's sovereignty be threatened. But that's a completely different topic. Which I'm not going to go too far into. But if anyone ever sees, like, has come to my YouTube channel from my Threads account, you'll see and be very familiar with my opinions. Always make sure you're comfortable talking about shit. Yeah, I try to keep this, like, a super lighthearted space. But because, like, Nano was something that was super important to me and I really enjoyed doing every year, and I have spoken about a lot and I've endorsed it a lot over the years, I do feel like I have at least some responsibility to be like, hey, this is why we're not using this anymore. It's episode 1 of the podcast. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so we hold no belief that people will stop writing 50,000 words in November. Many alternatives to NaNoWriMo popped up this year. People did find each other in so many ways. It's easier than when NaNoWriMo began in 1999 and find writing tribe online. Exactly. There are many other places to go if you need motivation to write, and clearly, as we saw earlier, NaNoWriMo does not exist anymore, which is completely understandable why. And, yeah. Am I disappointed that it's a good thing that's gone? Sure. But is it better to protect kids from a potentially unsafe environment? Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm much happier seeing it gone and knowing that kids are safe than seeing it still be there. So, Eden podcast would go crazy, though. Hell fucking yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. That's the controversy. Which, I don't know, this is going to be a random maybe it's not a hot take, I don't know. But hearing the word controversy these days, for me, just kind of feels like everyone going like, ooh, I want the drama, the tea. And a lot of times, it's very serious, and so, I don't know, the word controversy kind of like, sometimes to me, it feels like it plays it down, or it makes it sound more like gossip than something serious, but, anyway, we're not going to nitpick that. Yes, I'm a writer, yes, I nitpick words all the time, but I'm not going to go too far into that. It feels like the word drama. Yeah, pretty much. And it just feels like drama is everywhere these days, and everyone tries to find a scandal in something, so when something is actually a scandal, it just feels like it's been watered down so much. But I guess you could say the same for, like, a lot of words. Yeah. Anyway. This is why I don't tend to, like, discuss serious things on stream. 1, because I like to keep it a lighthearted environment and a safe space. But 2, because I can go on forever and I need to cut myself off. Anyway, appreciate y'all going down this rabbit hole with me for a bit. It is something that has, like, saying it affected me personally makes it sound way, like, it had way bigger of an impact than it actually did. All it really did was just means I can't use the website anymore. So, I'd much rather kids be safe than me have access to a website. But yeah, that's why I'm not participating in NaNoWriMo anymore. And clearly that's why the website is apparently just gone. I didn't even know that it was gone, so good to know.